So in today's video, Goonies, we're going to be talking about cars or vehicles and all that you need to know about them. Now, I know there's been other videos that have been made discussing some of the features of cars, but I guarantee you, you're going to see something in this video that you haven't seen before. With that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is trunk space. And obviously all you guys know this new feature in the cars. It is one of the best features of vehicles in PUBG New State. The fact is that you can put anything in that trunk and store it for later on in the game, whether it be ammunition, grenades, helmets, vest, whatever it is. With that being said, if you have a down teammate, you can actually store him, guns, vest, helmets, whatever you can get in their backpacks even, to get him started later on in the game so that you can have a viable team member as you progress in the game. Another thing in New State about vehicles is they fly, or rather they jump. There's several areas, river crossings, that have large ramp-like structures, or rocks, if you will, that are set up perfectly to jump over if you utilize them, and that way maybe you won't get caught by a bridge camp. One thing to note, while testing these vehicles, we noticed that the Jeep performed a little bit more poorly on the jumps, if not at a certain rate of speed. The Jeep is slower, it's heavier than the cars, and it definitely doesn't have the top end. So make sure you have a good amount of speed before you hit these jumps in a Jeep. Another cool feature of the vehicles in PUBG New State is they can drive underwater. For a limited amount of time, that is, though. We found out during our testing there is a time limit. So you want to stick to the crossings that are really short, and make sure to watch this video and you'll see the areas that will allow you to cross. Now, why would you want to cross underwater? Typically to avoid bridge camps once again, or just to stay silent, stay off the bridges, go a different path. But these areas are available for you. But one thing to note, if you try to cross a large area of water, even though it's flat, the vehicle will stall after a certain amount of time. We tried the larger areas with the sports car, or the Nova, I think it's called, and it almost made it, but it would always stall out after a certain amount of time. So in some of the vehicles, actually like the Jeep, it kept all four wheels grounded pretty much as it rode. So did the sports car, but battery-powered vehicles like the Volta, we noticed that the back end of the car was floating in the Dacia, and they performed a little bit poorly with that part, but they still crossed and it still made it over. So that's another cool feature you need to know about. So when we were testing the Nova, it travels at such a high rate of speed, and that's one of the things that you need to take note of, is the rate of speed that we hit the water. Obviously, if we're hitting the water hard enough, we're going to cross more ground, and that's half the battle, right? So once the car settles down on the bottom, you cross over more. But I am going to show you this one little clip here where the Volta just ran out of time. And once it runs out of time, the vehicle stops moving, and this is with all vehicles. There is a time limit. Now, another cool feature of the cars in PUBG New State is that the doors open. And I know you're thinking, why do you need to open the doors? You can get in and out the car without doing that. Yes, but the doors open for a specific reason, meaning you can use the doors for cover in a fight. Now here we have a mock fight with me and Arlu, and we're just kind of showing you what you can do. Now the cool thing is, even though the door is being shot, it doesn't affect the overall damage of the car, which kind of saves your car as well. So that needs to be noted as well. We're going to show you all that in some more testing as this video continues. Now we tested the tires as well. We noted that it didn't really matter as far as 5.56 or 7.62 how many bullets it took to knock a tire. It seemed to really just be 3 bullets per tire per car. It didn't really matter. That was pretty much it. Now we did not test submachine guns. I'll have to get back with you guys on that. Alright guys, for the rest of the stats on these vehicles, I'm just going to break them down into more of a spreadsheet format, if you will, kind of like I did with my gun stat videos, to make this video go a little bit faster. I know time is of the essence, and this is, to me, the most important meat of this video, and that is how many hits does it take to blow up these cars. Also, their trunk space. So let me get into it. The UAZ. In 7.62, it takes approximately 75 rounds to flame. In 5.56, it takes 77. The trunk space on a UAZ is 500. The Dacia takes 53 7.62 rounds to flame, but it takes 71 5.56. It also has 500 trunk space. The Variant, or the new Jeep, takes 78 rounds of 7.62 to flame, and it takes 80 rounds of 5.56. Not much of a difference there. Still a lot tougher than the cars. It also has 500 trunk space. The battery car, Tesla, or Volta, as PUBG New State calls it, takes 45 rounds of 7.62, so that is a weak one. Be careful of that car. And it takes 50 rounds of 5.56. It also has 500 trunk space. Now the sports car, Lamborghini, or as PUBG New State calls it, the Nova, takes 69 rounds of 7.62, and it takes 80 rounds of 5.56. It also only has 300 trunk space. It has 300 trunk space. It is a lot smaller, but it also has the most of the remaining cars, so it's kind of in the middle. Now we're going to go to the X-Ax, or battery buggy. It takes 40 rounds to knock with 7.62, 61 rounds of 5.56, and it has 200 trunk space. The Lightning, or the red bike, takes 38 rounds to flame, and it takes 40 rounds of 5.56, and it has 150 trunk space. Sorry, I was messing up on my list here, guys. The gas buggy, it takes 40 rounds of 7.62, 53 rounds of 5.56, and it has 200 trunk space. The trike takes 30 rounds to flame of 7.62, 32 rounds of 5.56, and it has 150 trunk space. And pretty much all the bikes have 150 trunk space. Now, the motorbike, or the dirt bike looking vehicle, takes 34 rounds of 7.62 and 32 rounds of 5.56. The Vulture, or the battery bike, takes 35 rounds of 7.62 and 35 rounds of 5.56. So that pretty much concludes that. Now let's get into door testing. It's 11 rounds. 11 rounds. $13 rounds. Rounds once again. $13 rounds once again. Pretty standard. Now let's get in the vehicle and look at the health. The health. Look at the health, guys. Holy shit. It is completely ineffective. Now we're going to do this test once again. Alright, it's on fire now. So it took... So we do have a discrepancy here, guys. After this test, although the vehicle appeared not to be damaged, there's a numerical difference, obviously, in what happened here. Meaning it took 78 rounds to flame in original testing with no door damage. And in this test, after all 4 doors were taken off, it only took 69 rounds to flame. So there was some damage, although it's in the programming. It's not in what we see. So there's your discrepancy. Not much off, but just note that. Single file. So we're going to see how many. So that's 11 rounds. It's 11 rounds. Now we're going to go over here and shoot this one single file. So that was 10 rounds, guys. 10 rounds. Interesting. 10 rounds. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. It's 11. 10 rounds. Okay. So it's basically, that was 40 and then another 15. So weird things happen in testing, Goonies, and this is a prime example. And remember, this is under ideal, pristine conditions when we're doing these tests. There's nothing out of the way. It's not in-game when we do them. So the original test on the dossier with 7.62, it took 53 rounds to flame. Now, with this test, after blowing all 4 doors off, it took 55 rounds to flame, which makes absolute no sense. It makes you say, blow all your doors off the dossier because it will live longer. With that being said, I don't know what's going on here. Alright, Goonies, that concludes all the testing that we're going to do in this video. We are running a little bit long. Hopefully you know all you need to know about vehicles. Much thanks goes out to my amigos in the REST team. If you don't know what that is, it is the research and development team for PUBG New State. They are in my Discord. The link is in the description below. Also, special thanks to my Danger Close clan, which a lot of those members also help me conduct these tests. With that being said, guys, definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not. Stay tuned for more research and development for PUBG Mobile New State. If you're interested in joining that team, join my Discord and apply there today. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I am out of here.
Up the PS and turn up the DJ, turn it up, better DJ, bring it back. Dollar DJ, turn it up, better DJ, bring it back. Dollar DJ, turn it up, better DJ, bring it back. Tell 'em